difference between that one. All of them are the same to you. And you treat them the same. You don't want a preacher. You don't want somebody to keep pampering you. Is our preaching? That's our problem. We don't put a difference between the one that's holy. You know what we do? We treat them what? All the same. Even though the pastor, even God will put the pastor, all of us are holy, all of us are anointed, all of them, we don't put no difference. That's why we ain't got no respect for the first lady. That's why we try to treat her like everybody else. You can't treat her like everybody else. You can't do what I do. You can't talk the way I talk. It's a different gun here. Oh, you ain't hearing me. You ain't hearing me. Our problem is we make all 10 of them what? The same. There ain't no difference in it. You get yours, all your money the same. And that's why the financial ruin has come down on. Huh? It's over. He says you done brought some things on your. What you talking about, bro? He said you done brought some things on your. Why? Because you have not put a difference. Now God named it holy. And what he says, I name holy, Peter, don't you become. Somebody give him a praise, huh? Now just sit there and look. We'll catch on in a minute. And that's what we're doing. You know, I'm telling you the truth. And we're wondering why this financial ruin has come down on our heads. And no matter how hard we work, and no matter how hard we try to do this here, we're still jacked up from the old. You know why? Because you don't put a difference between the holy. Why didn't give me their hands? Amen. Is this right or wrong now? Our problem, we treat all 10 of them the what? The same. Not only that, we treat all the things that God say are holy, sacrifice, dedicated to me by 7. I ain't gonna get them into today. We treat this house just like our house. But it ain't like your house. That's a holy, but we've made it just as equal to our house. It ain't equal like your house. This house has been dedicated, concentrated, and set aside for. And that's why your house messed up, because you profaned the holy house. You made it equal with your own house. Huh? You said, what? Bishop? Can I preach? Give me. Come here, y'all 3. Come here, y'all 4. Hey, come here, bro. Oh, you. Y'all just stand up right here across that 5 men. Now, I need a woman that's holy, looking for a husband. Not that you can have none of these. Because I know you. Somebody say amen. But who's a saved single woman? Come here. I need you. Go to 1 Corinthians 6:14. I believe it. 1 Corinthians 6:14 or it's 2 Corinthians 6:14. I think it's. Somebody grab it. Let me hold your Bible right quick. Let me show you something. Come here, Doris. Stand right here. See? 1 Corinthians 6:14. No. That's 7:14, Jen. No, it's 2 Corinthians 6:14. Okay, yeah, that's what. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Watch this. 2 Corinthians 6:14. If you haven't said amen. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with what? And what communion hath light with what? What concord hath Christ with what? And what part hath he that believeth with who? Other words, he's telling you to make a difference. Other words, he's telling you to put a difference. Is that right? Now watch this here. And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For you are the temple of the living God. I will dwell in them. He says, come out, and then he gets some good stuff there, which I'm going to come back to in a minute. But this is my point right here. This is my point. Right now, you're looking for a husband. Or you want or you want a husband. Some of you. Maybe not all. If you're single and you're God bless you. But I'm down to the women that want one. Or the man that's looking for a wife. Here's the trouble. God tells you that you're holy. But what you do is, instead of looking for a holy man, you treat all of them the same. Y'all ain't gonna help me. But it's all right. You're not looking for the man that's been set apart and dedicated to God, but you treat them all the same, and you just want a man. Y'all pray with me up in here. Pray with me up in here. Just work with me for a minute up in here. Just work with me. And because you have not put a difference between what's holy and what's unholy, oh my God, you end up taking something that is holy yourself and giving it to a dog that's and they begin to treat you like a dog that they are. And you wonder why they're treating you the way that they're treating you. It's because you have not put a difference between what is holy and what is unholy. You treated them all the same, and now your own ways have come upon your entertain you. And because you have not made a difference, but because you made all of them common, and you say one man is just as good as another man, and instead of you taking what was holy and sacrificing it and making it unto God, you took it and you gave it to dogs. Instead of saving yourself for somebody who's in the covenant, that's been dedicated like you've been dedicated, that's been set aside like you've been set aside. You won't do that. You cast something holy to dogs. And you're wondering why you're going through now. Y'all don't need to see it. I'm just trying to. And you're giving it to a dog, and you're taking what is holy, and you made it common with everybody else. You take me in First Lady counseling, and you make it common with everybody. Before you go and ask us about marriage, you run to everybody else out here. Because our counseling, their counseling just as good as our counseling. No, it's not, baby. It's not the same counseling. You're dealing with somebody that's been through the fire, been through the water, and when they open their mouth, you do well to listen. You know, took their counseling, but everybody's counseling the same to you. That's why, because you're so common with them, when you talk, they don't listen. You know why? Because you're talking every day. That's why I didn't quit talking. That's why I didn't quit. I'm by myself. Yeah, they ain't gonna kick it. You ain't gonna do it no more, so all you lying. He talk. No, I ain't got time to be dealing with you. I'm not gonna make my Lord in common, and please don't get an attitude with me. Please don't. I mean, what I'm saying, all you need, please. The pastor had something in his mouth that would have saved your home. But you know what? His counsel was common. And so you lost your home. said, you'd have done well to listen to me, but you took the error counseling, and now the ship has something lost. You done made her counselor, my counselor, it done got common with everybody. So you don't lost your marriage. Amen, Bishop. Yeah, can I go a little deeper? I said, Lord, what do you mean? He says, you don't make a difference. Everybody, you put the elders, you put the deacons, everybody in the same. Get that mess out of your head. Somebody said, oh, you big man now. No, I'm telling you what the word teaches. Somebody get the word first. You can't make us common. Just because her lady had a birthday party here, you can't have one. She's a first lady. My God, what the devil wrong with you? What the devil wrong with you? What's wrong with you? We just putting everything equal. Get that from me, brother. Somebody like that. No, because if you'll rob God, you'll rob me. If you hold him up, his face will hold me up too. You're gonna blasted thief. You took that holy part to God. And instead of making it holy and giving it back to God, you're giving it to dogs. What do you mean, dog? You're giving it to J.C. Penney, somebody outside the covenant. You're giving it to Red Lobster, somebody outside the covenant. You don't call up Craigslist and bought stuff with God's money. And I really gets in the church. Yeah, if you would live right and do right, we would have this. Somebody hold your hands up and give him a praise. Y'all see why the devil hates me now? Yeah. But y'all love him. Somebody give him I know you. I gotta quit, man, God. Am I right? I said, am I right about it? I said, am I right about it? Will somebody give God a praise? Amen. That's what goes on in the church. God called Aaron and Miriam out. Said, no, you ain't like Moses. You get sick there until you learn how to act right. Is that right? He said, no, you ain't. This Moses, this you. Well, we all are. We all are. And that's why you have to disrespect that you do. Because what God had put in your midst, you treated common. And that's why you jacked up now. Y'all don't like this kind of thing. Huh? Trust me, I ain't out to please nobody. Trust that. Somebody give the Lord a praise. Believe that. I ain't out to please nobody. Not a one. Y'all better pray I stay. Why is this so important, Bishop? What is so important about the holy part that we need to put a difference between the rest? What's so important about, see, you don't understand, there's seven things, I can't get them today, but the house of God is the holy house. It's not like your house. Amen. Amen. And because you don't put a difference in that, all the money you make is not the same. There's a special part. This is what messed up Adam. He didn't put a difference. You said, what, Bishop? Got him kicked out. Brought something on his own head. Huh? Can I preach? See, you don't get this stuff on TV here. Because everybody want to give folks a good prophecy